You're now listening to the Palmetto Dugout Show, hosted by State Director Sammy Esposito, Associate Scouts Drew Stewart and Sean Smith, that discuss all things related to amateur baseball in South Carolina. Here are your hosts.
Welcome back to the Palmetto Dugout Show, episode 109. Hey, we have a new face now on the Palmetto Dugout Show. We have 5 people. What's going on, everybody?
Coach, we're going to be up to like 20 here soon. We're going to be like what the SEC is trying to do with the Power Conference. Have 20 teams. We're going to have 20 faces here soon.
Hey,
yeah, especially when we get that sponsorship by Celsius. You never know what's going to happen.
True, never know.
It's going to be really difficult for us to get all of our 2 cents in on this 20 weeks.
God, we can't.
We're going to try.
We get enough problems that is. Hey, hashtag starting something. You know what I mean? Saying something.
Start it up. Say it, guys. It's like Christmas time for us baseball people right now. I mean, it's 75 degrees outside. We got high school tryouts going on. One of my assistant coaches called me about an hour ago and was like, "It was never this warm when we ever had any kind of tryouts." Kind of made me want to go back and have a little tryout, cut somebody, get the juices flowing. We got scrimmages coming up about next week when it's going to get cold and rain again. And then everybody's going to be starting their scrimmages. We get a little preseason tournament going.
Were you more fired up to cut that first kid or to hit some fungages? You know what I mean?
Well, I got to do both at the same time.
Next.
Cutting people is obviously the worst thing you can do. But I mean, it's part of the job. Unless you want to keep 60 guys in your dugout all year, and that's going to be a problem too. So you gotta take what you want to take. So I mean, we got all this going on with high school baseball. We got Division II JUCO fired it up last week. The Trojans took 2 out of 3 to start the season.
Of course, we bring up the Trojans.
Newberry Wolves with a sweep.
Hey, congratulations, brand new coach up there at Newberry. Got his first 3 wins.
And there's a ton of South Carolina guys on their roster too. I mainly started chasing that rabbit because I saw Wilson Wages went 6 for 10 with 5 RBIs. Little Clinton guy, the Clinton Red Devil, right? Isn't that right?
Yep.
He's a Red Devil.
He was a Red Devil. And then Erskine took 2 out of 3 from Lander. But I know you think that I'm a homer because I want to talk about the Trojans, but yesterday, on the second game on Sunday, the Trojans had a 9-man starting lineup, obviously. 8 of them played high school baseball in South Carolina. 8. And they're opening. Did y'all see who got the opening day start for the Trojans?
Was it a Wando kid?
Nope. Bowling Springs.
Bowling Springs. Who we got?
Corbin Childers.
Oh,
Corbin
I
Childers.
saw a neat picture here in the Midlands of some more Division II baseball. You had North Greenville was matched up with USC Beaufort, and you had 2 River Bluff guys. You had Thomas Powell, I think, was hitting, and Colby Reynolds was sitting there catching. So it's neat to and we've had Colby Reynolds was had some things in the past, so you get to see some of these guys that had come through some events in the past and kind of track their way. Contrary to what some people believe, we don't just forget about them once they move on from the high school ranks. We get to track these guys off into college and see what happens, whether it's junior college, Division II, NAIA, Division III, whatever it is, or up there in the big boys and see what's happening. I know Danielle's up there starting to trek her brother who's traveled the PBR route, the prep baseball route in the past, what he's about to do in college. So it's always neat to see this stuff and see where these guys go off.
Yeah, it's that really nice. I shouldn't say really nice. It's really nice for the Division II and JUCO guys. They're the only show in town this weekend, except for the preseason All-State South.
Coach, watch out now.
Great segue.
And the Super 60.
I was about to say, before we get – you led right into it, Austin.
There it is.
Super 60. We, this was we initially had four people lined up. Excuse my black hole. Looks like I've gotten hijacked here that I'm at. But we initially had four players from South Carolina going up there. One with a little bit of injury didn't go up there, but 3 players going up there. One in the process of moving himself up to another state. But we had 2 catchers from the great state of little old South Carolina go up there with Stowe Rogers and Peter Mershon, and right off the bat, right, they start off running, and we had 2 catchers run that ran as if they were outfielders, infielders. Stowe coming in with a 6.74, which didn't shock any of us because we've seen him over the years how athletic he's been. Even though he's like 6'2", 180 pounds, 80-some pounds or whatever he weighs in at. And then, oh, by the way, Peter Mershon, to be it without done, comes in with a 6'4'3", which is incredible. I don't care what position you play. And he's also 6'2", 6'3", 200 and some pounds. I mean, both kids are extremely athletic, extremely physical, very gifted players in this state. And right off the bat, kind of lit it up with the 60 and showing their athleticism, what they can do. And then rolled into BP, and both of them did a great job lighting it up. I think Stowe was up to 102 exit velo. Peter Mershon, 95, 97 consistently with the bat. But we all know he's, game guy, what he does with the bat. So they both stood out and lit up some stuff. I know they're releasing a bunch of stuff, Super 60-wise out there that is starting to come out, with their data dive and all that good stuff. And their names are at the top of the board of a lot of those categories that come out, whether it's from a physical standpoint, with a lot of the running stuff or the grip strength, or also some of the data from the throws, defensive wise, and then also with the BP. So big time for those guys to go up there and represent themselves, but also to represent little old South Carolina, like we always joke about. But those 2 guys to go up there to, not arguably, but to the greatest national showcase in that time frame, in that area right now, to represent and to put themselves out there. Last year, this event, 19 players that were there were drafted. 19 of the 60-some players were drafted. So it's not just another showcase. This is high-caliber talent, high-caliber players that are there, and it's front of cross-checkers, it's front of scouting directors, of all the decision-makers that are going to be out there. And they went up there and they put on a display, and I know they were blown away by how the event was run and all the gear and all the cool stuff they got. So kudos to them, their families, for making the trip up there. And then also Luke Rope, who was a South Carolinian, is now up in North Carolina. I heard he threw the ball really well, 91, 92. Good breaking stuff that we've seen over the years. I know he's had a little bit more in the tank in the past, but it is still January. So obviously really good to see the stuff coming out of his arm. Got good reports on him as well. So those guys went up there and represented and did a great job and opened up some eyeballs going into their spring senior season.
Coach, you said it best. Best event going on during this time in the country. There was also another event going on, Coach.
The second best event in the country.
The second
country. Preseason All-State South was Saturday. Espo, take us through it again.
Coach, I'm gonna go ahead and start this one off. First of all, let's give a huge shout out to Coach Jason Murray and the staff down there at the shipyard. Right, one, we were supposed to have this event the week before, but Snowpocalypse 2.0 decided to come through the coast, and dump 3 to 4 inches of snow on Charleston, which is an extreme rarity. And he was able to, work with us and be able to move it to this past weekend, which I think the baseball guys looked out on us. It was, 65, 70 degrees and sunny and absolutely gorgeous. And on that brand new turf that they laid down all over the place. So big shout out, big kudos to Jason Murray and his staff that were, awesome. And, as always, our home away from home down there at the shipyard gave us what we want. And then secondly, big shout out to the parents and the players, right? Moving their schedules around, being able to come down there and hang with us and, get an early morning start for some of those guys and a late evening, early night finish for some of those guys and a wonderful night to get out there in the field. And then thirdly, right, thank you guys, our staff, what you guys do to help run these events for these players and these families to get the info out there to help promote these players the best they can. Without you guys, these events aren't running. So big thanks to everybody around. But it was awesome. We wound up, I think it was 109 players at the end of the day that wound up coming through the doors down there at the shipyard, and we're just getting ready to start and uncover it. I know Sean and Drew's Twitter fingers have been wearing it out and probably calloused up from some of the initial tweets and content that they've been thrown out there already, and it's just begun. We're getting ready to throw out a ton tonight, and it starts tomorrow morning with the first data dive that's going to go out on the event, and we're fired up because it's a very talented group. It's a lot of players, but it's a very talented group with a lot of players, and it's the excitement, like Austin said, to start this thing off right. It's the kickoff right before the high school season. So we're fired up to get into this and start looking at some numbers. And the one thing, I told this to both groups, both sessions, the one thing that's neat for me with these events, and it was both for the South and the North events, a lot of familiar faces that have been to multiple events over multiple years. That means a lot to us, right? They're trusting us and what we do along the ways that keep bringing their kids back to our events. And I think that's really cool. Whether it's, a preseason all-state event from last year or a border battle of the summer, a Team Carolina trials or a super sophomore, whatever it be, but appreciate those guys. I think that's awesome to see so many familiar faces come back again. So kudos to those guys coming back, but we're excited to get into the thick of it and start breaking down some players and getting all these numbers out there.
With that being said, we'll go ahead and start here with the breakdown of the talent at the South event. Who wants to go first here?
What are we going to do? Are we going to go around in a circle like we did last time, one at a time, or somebody just going to fly off all of theirs at the same time? What are we going to do?
Let's go around the horn. You know what I mean? What's that show called?
Around the horn.
Around the horn.
We'll get the first take later.
You throw a video, and somebody's just gonna have to go with it.
Yeah, because we got to hit that butt.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay, the first one.
It's like a bad game.
Are y'all ready?
Don't forget to unmute.
I'm not going to talk. So whoever's guy this is, you're going to start talking.
Ooh.
We're
Hold
on now.
Oh well, we got to cheat now. We got to cheat.
You threw bad.
I'm 1,000% certain. Video I got to watch it earlier. He's about to drop a hammer of a changeup right there and a breaking ball. So this Braden Richardson, obviously you can read the screen. 2027. Got a 2A guy from Fort Mill. I think he actually, if what I read is correct, he threw from the infield and the outfield. Yes, he did. He threw from the infield and the outfield. I was hitting the fungo, so I didn't get to see everybody who threw. But one of the players I talked about last week, I remember talking about how the fact that he was at the top or near the top of every category that we looked at as far as the metrics go, and Braden was right there. He's a 2027 out of Fort Mill, and I believe I wrote down somewhere here is a former junior future game participant and a former super sophomore participant. Like I said, threw on the infield and the outfield. Infield was 89, the outfield was 87. Tied for first or second in both of those. He was up to 88.9. I think it'd be fair to say we might could round that up for him to 89, at least in our mind, not on the website. But in our mind, I'm rounding it up to 89. I don't really care what the rest of y'all do. It's at 87, 88. He was thrown on the other field. I didn't get to see it, but the video, when I went back and watched the video, I was like, oh, this is impressive. He ran really well. I think he was at least in top 10 on 60. I think it was like a 6'8", 9'6", 6'9", somewhere in there. 6'9", I believe. Is that what it was, Sammy?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the iPad. And his vertical was, he had second highest one of those, 26.8. So he swung the bat well, pitched well, threw from the outfield well, threw from the infield well, ran, jumped. I don't think there was anything else that we did Saturday. So I mean, he probably walked in and unpacked his stuff well. So impressive day for Mr. Richardson. I know he's been to a lot of our stuff. including junior futures and super sophomore. But definitely a two-way guy. I mean, if you want to count infield and outfield, we call him a three-way guy if you want to. But I don't know if that's an acceptable thing, but good day to be him.
Coach Espo, as we listen to Austin here, he's one of those guys. We talked about it. He came to junior futures. He came to the next event. You're like, who's this kid? Gotten bigger, better, and the talent has grown, obviously, over the few years we've seen him starting with the junior futures. Now, you ready for this one?
Oh, let's do it.
This is like Russian roulette right here. No one knows what's about to happen, boys.
Wait, are you going to put the name up, though, and, like, cheat us?
I'm not gonna.
You'll be out on that one already.
I gotta let you cheat because that's just how it is. Here we go, boys.
Yeah, Frank Pepe, 2027, left-handed pitcher from St. James High School. Biggest thing that stuck out to me while he was on the mound is just cleanliness. It was a clean bullpen all the way through, mechanically in the zone with all of his pitches. Fastball, curveball, changeup, 79 to 80 with the fastball there. Really could locate it pretty much wherever he wanted. Breaking ball in the lower 70s and changeup in mid 70s. Really a guy that could mix it around the zone really easily. And just, like I said, the really clean mechanics. You can see the arm action. It's very repeatable. And with the delivery as well, coming down the mound, it's super easy. And he's a guy that, he's good frame as well, about 5'9", 190 pounds or so. So, I mean, he's got some strength in there, and it's only going to get more as he continues in his high school career. And, Frank's a guy that, is down there. He was another super sophomore that we got to see. So we'd seen him a little bit before, but Frank come back in there and really, like I said, just clean bullpen and really mature all the way through. And I really liked watching Frank, and he's somebody that we're going to want to keep our eyes on going into this coming season.
Hey, Coachy, we get to see him very early. Maybe Sean will get to see him too with that loaded St. James team coming in to the shipyard. Let's see. I gotta find somebody else right here.
I need you to not call him.
You know what? Let's stick with it.
You don't know who you're talking about.
What?
When you say coachy, I don't know who you're talking about.
Everybody.
Everyone.
I'm talking to you, Austin, because you're going to be with me at beautiful shipyard.
TBD.
So Austin better be there.
It's up in the air.
Here we go, boys.
You got to talk to my agent.
Good. Oh, that's me. I got to remember to unhit the mute button. I felt like Austin right there. Luke, our boy Luke Kessler. Speaking of another talented boy out of St. James High School right here. Luke, this is another guy we've talked about a little bit before, right? Guys that are improving, right? This is a guy who's, went back and looked last year at this point in time, and then seeing where he's at over the years, he's gotten better. And that's what you always want to see out of these guys, the improving numbers of where they're at, whether it's with the batter or with the defensive numbers. He's a strong physical kid, right? He comes up. I don't even know what his grip strength was, but I'd assume it's probably off the charts where he's straight, the old school way he shakes your hand. Big, strong physical with the bat. Exit velo is 100. Max distance, 362 feet. Probably hit that out of most high school fields. But just a lot of loud, hard contact through the day. Good arm strength. I think it was up to 81 miles an hour down to second with the pop time between a 197 and a 201 with, good clean exchanges and footwork. But, Luke Kessler, I know his high school coach is extremely high on him. Thinks he's one of those guys that's kind of overlooked, but he plays the game the right way. Hard-nosed guy that's just a big, strong physical kid, but also has some high tool sets. So we're excited to see him early on and glad we got a chance to see him again here in this preseason.
Thought Sean was about to speak. Never mind.
Racking up on the St. James guys so far. I like it.
On the next guy. Okay, I got you, Sean. Appreciate it. Here we go. I don't know whose guy this is. But we're gonna this is a struggle. Here we go.
I think on paper I signed up for this one. I think is where we ended up, but I think as many times as we've seen Mr. Palmer, I think any of the five of us, honestly, to talk about him. I know when I was talking about Braden a minute ago, we were talking about how he was near the top of just about everything that he did. Andrew actually was at the top of everything he did that I could find. He's 89 from the outfield, which was the high for the day. He had the highest vertical, 26.9, and he had the best 60. It ended up on the website it was 661, but if I remember correctly, I think it was 6.609. I think, and he told me before he ran, his goal was to get under 6.6, and he got close. So, which is impressive considering some of the other numbers that I was told before they ran, and then what they did run. So, he got in the ballpark of what he was looking for. But I mean, like I said, he had the highest exit velo, 103.9, and the highest distance on TrackMan, 394. So, I mean, for an outfielder, we've seen him. I don't even know how many times we've seen him down there at Oceanside, and even in the summer. He's going to be a really good player going to East Tennessee State. So look forward to seeing him at Oceanside, and he's probably going to be playing for quite a few more years.
Hey, Danielle, do you have anything to say? You're on the big screen.
No, I'm good. I'm all good.
He's another
Hopefully-
super gamer, right? 2022, I think is what the website said.
Two of them, 22 and
Yeah,
23.
22 and 23. He had tied the record for the most home runs in the future games with 3.
There you go.
One of
So-
the inside the park variety.
Well, it's still a homer. You know what I mean?
It counts. Still counts.
I think
Hopefully-
he had inside
hopefully-
the park home run at the preseason tournament last year, didn't he? I think he did.
Yeah. Yeah. When you run 6.6s, it's a little bit easier to hit some inside the parkers.
I bet he can dunk too. He's 6'3" and he's got a 27-inch vertical. I bet he can dunk.
What was the exit field? 104, you said? Yeah, man.
Max was
He hammers
23.
baseball.
Yeah.
TrackMan don't round up.
No,
TrackMan doesn't round up. Bald rounds up.
Ball rounds up the wrong direction though. It rounds
Yeah.
in a bad direction for these guys.
Yeah.
All right. Let me make sure I can find this guy too. We got them all scattered here. Here we go.
Yeah. What they got? Wait a minute, that's me, Coach. So we're going to go old Brewer Haggard, Chapin, another loaded team up here, right? Chapin should be Chapin High School up here in the Midlands. Got a chance to have a very special team, but Brewer, big right-hander, lanky, 6'2", 155, 160 pounds, somewhere in that range. Long, lanky, loose arm slot, a little bit of funky, but he's got some really good feel for his pitches, but he's got some whippy arm action that goes in there. A lot of upside and growth to him in that frame, but 82 to 83, 84 miles an hour. I think he topped out around 84. Mixes in a good breaking ball, 73 to 75. Has good feel for a good changeup with some sinking action to it, 76 to 78. But really like that loose, whippy arm action he's got. And obviously the frame, be able to continue to grow and add that strength in there. That velo is going to continue to tick up in the right direction, especially for 2027. But looking for a special year out of him up there in the Chapin Eagles, boy.
That's y'all's neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Chapin's going to be
Watch
good.
out
Chapin's going to be
They're
good.
loaded.
Aren't
Gonna
they
be loaded.
always
Mm-hmm.
somewhere?
We
I
got
asked
chance.
I asked him Saturday if he knew who Merle Haggard was, and he said he gets that a lot. So
No relation?
no relation from what I could gather, but he did say he knew who he was.
All right.
So that was positive.
Of course you would.
We're gonna move to a fan favorite here. We ready? If I can find it.
Yeah, Tripp, obviously another well-decorated PBR veteran, I would say. Shortstop 2027 from James Island, the state champion from last year. Tripp, really just does it all. The swing is really clean as well. I was mentioning that before about Frank, but he's got some good bat speed in there, up to 95 with the exit velocity. Does all kinds of things that I really enjoy him watching him in the field as well. Good arm strength across the diamond, twitchy, athletic. 6'8" runner in there. He really just does it all really, really well. Here, I'm pulling up the video of him right now. Here we go. Yeah, really good barrel direction in there as well. You can see it just, going through the zone really easily. Does a lot of things for you that you really want, going to impact, like I said, on the defensive side and on the base paths. I feel like he's the kind of guy that really slows the game down for him, and he's running at his own pace the entire time. He really has a lot of success doing a lot of different things, and obviously, playing on a pretty high level high school team, and as well in the summer ball. Had a deep run with high school in Jones Island all the way to the state title last year. And he's a guy that's definitely going to continue making that impact, and quite sure he's going to end up maybe not wherever he wants, but pretty close to wherever he wants, because he's a guy that really does it all, and it's somebody that we really, really enjoy being able to watch.
He's a guy that started his journey at the Carolina trials, Espo.
He did. I'll never forget. His dad emailed me and said, "Hey, you mind if we might be a few minutes late running in for a tournament?" I'm like, "Yeah, who's this guy? Come on down. It's fine. Come on." And all of a sudden he rolled in. We're like, "Hey, you want to come play for our junior futures team?" and he took off. I'll tell you, he's come a long way, because remember that on-field interview we tried to do with him?
Oh, I think I.
Oh, that was a struggle. It was a little bit of struggle. Me trying to ask him some questions while he's playing short might not have been a good combination.
He's too locked in, you can't.
He
let
was
a state
too
champion get off his game.
After listening to Danielle interview Sean and Austin on Saturday, maybe we needed her doing that one instead of me. We'll
it's a lot harder to be on the receiving end of that than you think it is. But on Trip, man, I feel like that's a typo. Besides his name would have been 2027. I feel like I've been watching for 8 years, and he is about to play his 10th grade year of baseball this year. And
right.
I don't know. I feel like it's. I honestly thought he was at least a junior, if not a senior. But I mean, it's not like we started watching him when he was playing middle school baseball. He was starting on varsity in the 8th grade and was good when he was doing that. I mean, so. Yeah, I saw that number. I was like, no, that's not right, but it is.
It's right.
That's right.
You remember where he was hitting in the order last year for James Island at the end of the year? Was he towards the top or just in the mid somewhere? So he was leading off.
No,
I mean, that
says everything. I don't know. He's near the top.
That says everything you need to know right there. Freshman batting up there in the state champion. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Falling behind over here. Here we
Well,
go.
at least your nose isn't bleeding this time.
Street.
This is my guy, Corbin King. I want you to take a peek at that swing and tell me who got him.
Coming out.
So yeah, I got Corbin, 2027 catcher, Blue Ridge High School up there in the northern part of Greenville. Going to be playing for Coach Henson this year. Really, really strong kid. You can tell by the swing, the lower half. He really gets in that lower half. He can hit the ball a long way. And we've seen. I would expect. I'm not the one making the lineup, but he's probably going to take the reins over behind the plate for Blue Ridge from Cade Norton, and I would assume he's probably going to pick up right where he left off. He's got 3 years left up there. See how many home runs he can hit out of that place. But he had the 7th best average exit velocity. He was 89.2. 77 mile an hour throwing from behind the plate, and had a 1.9 to 2.0 pop time. It threw the ball really well over there on our field. I think he was over there with us, Drew, if I'm not mistaken. But threw the ball really well, swung the bat well. Had a really good day on Saturday. I look forward to. I usually get to make at least one trip up to Blue Ridge a year, so hopefully I'll get to make that trip this year and see how he's doing. But somebody we've seen, I've seen him play a little bit before, but really got to see him a better look this past Saturday, and look forward to following him.
He's got that Blue Ridge-esque swing for the Fighting Hensons there.
He also had a controversial home run in our fall top prospect games that had the Georgia fans a little upset.
I did not remember that being him.
Yeah, that was Corbin. Yeah, he hit one. Drew called it.
Home run. They pulled it over there in the freaking beer garden. Holy shit!
I mean, he
don't ask a guy that's paying attention so much.
Yeah, he hit it 10 miles, but it was questionable. But you know what? Georgia was a little upset, but little South Carolina was happy. That's all that matters.
Austin could hit one out of that tiny ass field. So
I mean, Austin might be able to, but the Gamecocks can't when they come over there. At least when Espo's not coaching. I mean,
we'll see.
I did not realize that was him that hit that ball, but now
that was old Corbin.
I wish we had the video for that because
Corbin will launch some balls this summer too up in Wake. Maybe Danielle's brother can launch a few out of Wake too here coming up here soon.
What was Jordan's beef with it? What was the problem?
Talking about field. You drive up the Killam Salem and find out how small that field is.
Killam Salem.
You've struck a nerve with the bird. There you go.
Stop up and get some chicken at the Bojangles.
Make sure you stop at that gas station after dark. It's like a mile from the stadium. Place is bumping, busting, whatever you would call it. You might get
Drew's lost it. Drew's lost it already. We're 30 minutes in. He's lost it. Drew needs a bill.
To say the other day.
Anyway, let's move on here. Here we go. Hold on, Coach. Don't start telling you I got to find him. Here we go.
Brewer Cannon, that's my guy. Boy, out of 2027 out of Conway, big strong kid. You know, we got a chance to watch Brewer. He came to our hitting update this winter when we were down there in Conway. So we're glad to get a chance to have him come back to the preseason All-State, and he did not disappoint again. 6'3", 190 pounds, very strong, very athletic, very physical player. Strength, you know, obviously in the swing with power, plus hand speed. You know, you kind of dive into those blast numbers with him. Everything was kind of off the chart. Exit velo was 97 plus, distance 369. You know, and then you watch him kind of float around defensively on the field. It was kind of good actions, had soft hands, good arm action, but he also threw the ball from different arm angles, right? When you watch infielders, you know, we kind of talk to these kids beforehand and we tell them, hey, I know everybody wants to hit a number, but remember you're on video. You know, and you watch some of these infielders and they're crow hopping balls across the infield trying to get a number, but Brewer's over there looking the part and throwing the ball from different arm angles. And that's what good infielders do. So he was able to show off the ability to play and move around out there, and especially for his size. And he's a very athletic kid, you know, obviously big and strong. That kind of checked all the boxes right there, but he swung with some intent, but had good bat speed and a good short swing along the way. So Brewer's a impressive player down there in Conway. See how it's hard to say the kid that size is only a sophomore, but it'd be fun to watch him continue to progress as he goes on.
Coach, that's one of the things that, like, when you're going to these showcases is, you know, like you're talking about, you know, kids trying to pop a number and things like that. The ones that stand out the most to me is the ones that are going at game speed through everything, because in a showcase environment, like, obviously you're not going to get that game level feel or anything like that. But if you can go out there and you know, try and imagine it and, you know, be able to go through the motions as if you are, that's really what's going to stand out on video. Because, yeah, like you're saying, we got everything on camera out there. And, you know, if you're not going at game speed and you're kind of, like you're saying, crow hopping and going through stuff like that, you know, guys are going to be running through the bag there and they're going to be safe, you know, running over to first base. So, you know, Brewer's a guy that, like I'm saying, you know, really takes stuff at game speed. And I really enjoy watching him out there on Saturday for sure.
Yeah, it was funny. Like, you know, a couple of you guys were over on the other field for the outfielders and stuff, but like Braden Richardson, also, we're talking about your guy. He was getting some ground balls early, and he was kind of long arm action and kind of airmailed. And I go, hey, Braden, play these like a fast runner's here. And all of a sudden, he shortened up his arm action, and his velo was only a tick or two down. It wasn't that drastic of a difference, but his video and his actions play better. Right. And if you're a coach or you're a scout and you're recruiting him, you're watching that video, now you can go, oh, that guy looks like this, you know, and I know it gets lost because you're wanting numbers, you're wanting this, you're wanting that, but we video everything we do, you know, so the only thing we're not videoing ultimately is the 60, and they're getting the number on that. If, you know, who cares what they look like if it comes in at a 6'4", you know, it don't matter what they look like running down the line. They're fast. But when you're taking a swing or your pitching mechanics or defensively, you want to look pretty and you want to look the part. That's going to check more boxes than if you threw 89, you crow hop 4 times and it went into the stands and took out a dad.
That's true. What happened last time we tried to video a 60?
We took out
no way. I took my man out with the little flying thing.
Probably got a lifetime of headaches.
Also been working on that Zoom on the camera though. He could video some 60s for us.
We need to ask my man from Conway down there if he's ever been to Spanky's.
Get him some hermit crabs, Coach.
Yeah, he must have got him a hermit crab and a tie-dye T-shirt while he was down there.
Get him some gas for cheap.
He got him a boogie board on his way into town.
Taking beer out there for a minute.
You gonna make my nose start bleeding? Shut up.
Oh gosh.
We're gonna start that sniffing, boy.
That's like when you called me the other day. You said nose bleeding again.
Yeah. It is kind of obvious you do the sniffle thing. I mean,
all right, we'll move on here. We'll be out here all night. Austin, keep going.
We start chasing that Spanky's rabbit. We're in trouble.
This is me, Charles Becker, 2027 right-handed pitcher from Oceanside Collegiate, has certainly added on some weight since we've seen him last. He's up to 6'2", 214 pounds. It was listed there, and you can see it right here in the video. He's filling out the screen. He's up there as a physical presence on the mound, and he's the guy that when batters stand in the box there, they're going to be looking at it. They're like, whoa, this guy's going to be coming in with some cheddar coming in. But yeah, he's got a lot of good pitches in there too, and he can mix in a breaking ball or two, and good changeup, good feel for all of his pitches. He was about 84, 85 with the fastball, good life to the arm side as well. He's a guy I would say he's got a high floor based off of that frame and what he can do already. And, that velocity and stuff is only going to get better as he continues to refine his mechanics a little bit more and get a little bit more mature, even though he's already doing pretty well in that department. But yeah, Charles is the guy another JFGer that we had come and see us before. And he's going to be doing some big things for Oceanside Collegiate this year. He's somebody we're excited to see again.
Coach, he had a hell of an outing in the JFGs too as well, right, Espo?
Mm-hmm. He did. He lit them up. He lit them up. I mean, big shock. That team lit up everybody.
Was that Louisiana? Who was that?
God, I can't remember.
I think it was. Was it the late game?
Yeah, I think it's when Cody Brenham hit a homer.
When Cody hit the homer?
Yeah, and then is that when DeVries came in and was pumping Ched too?
Yeah, and you
got him down.
Yeah, that was DeVries pumped Ched every time, so it didn't matter.
Yeah,
not the way he did it at Clemson that night in the dark.
Shit.
Woo! Throwing bowling balls in there.
Yeah, that was nobody saw it, and it was midnight.
That was something serious.
That was at midnight when we were done at 6.
I was a little off on the schedule.
It was right after Corbin King hit that home run over the third base box.
Oh, screw you, Austin. Whoever has this next guy, Captain Eddie is going to be very proud of you. I think you know who, and you know why Captain Eddie is very, very proud of you on this one.
Coach, that's my guy. Captain Eddie loves some May River, but Micah Morgan. I mean, to me, this was one of our big winners for the event on the mound. Micah Morgan for this young guy, he was kind of an unknown guy coming into us for us. We had a little bit of a heads up on him from a really a travel ball coach coming in, but Micah is an extremely projectable frame, right? It's very lean, wiry frame, good athletic mover down the mound, low slot, kind of see a work right there. Very whippy, controlled action. But talking to him, right? Sean's right there with me. Sean and Danielle are sitting right there, and he goes, "I got a slider and a sweeper." And right, so I go ask him about it, and just listening to a 2027 talk about his pitches, usually they're like, "I just grab it and throw the ball." You know, they don't really know what's going on, and he had a feel for multiple pitches of what he had going on, right? You know, fastball was 81 to 83. Slider and sweeper were very similar in terms of, you know, pitch speed 71, 72, but they had different actions to them. You know, a little bit different of a slot on them, and then he had a good changeup at 70 to 73. But I think as this guy continues to add weight and add strength, right, it's 6'1", 150 pounds. You know, as a sophomore, you just think with natural progression of what a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid does, you're going to look up, he's going to be 6'2", 6'3", 175, 180 pounds, throwing 90, 92 miles an hour with some funk right there. He was a big winner for me when this came out of here. But, yeah, Drew hit on the right. Cap Meddy, he's off the chart here. Oh, good old May River. Got to get on down from May River. But this is a guy that will get us down to go watch May River play some baseball.
I must be on the wrong. I'm on the wrong end of what Drew was saying. I thought the arm slot was what Eddie was going to be in.
No. Captain Eddie's a huge River fan.
Yeah,
so
we haven't made the connection yet, but he's a huge River fan.
I think he did like one event and had like some May River kids there, and like it was on with May River.
I was thinking this whole time that arm slot that Eddie made up that one time at that summer tournament fit this one, but that's okay. We'll talk about it later.
It's always okay. Here we go.
Just kind of got that sidearm slinging slot, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about, you know, the sweepers versus sliders. You know, we don't, Coach. I don't even think we have a TrackMan option for a sweeper, I guess. But so we had to class them as sliders. But for Micah, it was definitely different shapes on him. You can see how he would definitely be working them in different counts to different handedness of hitters and stuff. And yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. I don't think I've seen a true sweeper like that. That's really a different shape off the slider. So props to him for figuring that one out. And it's definitely going to be a pitch that's going to get him some outs.
They're going to be at the preseason tournament. We're going to get to see him this time.
He's going to get some outs.
No.
Hey, let's.
Yeah, a couple years ago. I feel like I've seen them before.
We're going to move back to the powerhouse at the beach currently. Here we go.
Yeah, we got Jeter Centraccio here, 2026 outfielder from St. James. He was, you know, kind of a skinnier guy, about 6 foot 150. You know, he's just kind of rolling in there. You know, we weren't expecting a whole lot. But he's going out there and he's hammering baseballs up, you know, to the pull side definitely. And you know, he's in there with a pretty good short swing and you know, got some lift in there too, and good quick hands and some bat speed as well. And you know, he's just somebody that, you know, he doesn't look like he's going to overpower you with the bat, but he was somebody that was definitely putting jolts into baseballs that I thought was really exciting to watch. And he's got some good athleticism. He had some pretty good splits in the 10 and 30 yard dash, and you know, some stuff. He's got some good twitch in there, I would say. Good first step. Outfield, good outfield velocity as well for the arm strength there. And you know, he's a guy that if he can add on a little bit more weight, I think there's a lot of upside in there for Jeter. So he's somebody we're going to want to keep our eyes on. And a lot of St. James guys from this event, you know, we're going to talk about, I'm sure, a couple we've already talked about too. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a school we need to watch as well, because they got a lot of hidden talent down there, I'd say.
I'll volunteer to go down to a St. James game this year. I've never been to St. James, but I know, following along on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken, his dad's the head coach, right? Is that true?
Correct.
I have the same name, and it doesn't appear to be very common. I'm assuming that's his dad.
He's
got
James,
probably the nicest maintained grass high school baseball field in the state.
Have you seen their scoreboard? They got a video board, Coach. They got a video board at a high school.
Ooh, they got Team Jordans last year.
I know. Drew was trying to get a pair all year long, couldn't get.
Yeah, he can wear
You were-
spikes.
I,
He can wear spikes.
screw the Island Boys. I wanted a pair of those shoes from St. James.
Drew was trying to wear spikes to cover high school games last year.
Or if those 8U games he was doing in Anderson that time.
Austin, I wanted to wear those spikes, and I'll text you why I wanted to look like somebody else. If you've been to one of those games or coached against this team, you would know. But I can't say that on live show here.
Can you wear the spikes? Can you wear the spikes with some skin tight pants? You think that would be a good look?
Yeah, I'll throw a cup in there. I'll wear a cup with the
Oh, yeah.
Hey, will you eat your stand-up weenies while you're at? Hey, time out. Hey, if our listeners are listening that were expecting Drew to eat the damn stand-up weenies last time, we need some comments. We need something going on here. If you guys get him to eat these stand-up weenies, whoever chimes in on here or posts some stuff, we'll send you a hat or something. I don't know what we'll do. But Drew, Austin, what do we say? We got to give the people what they want.
And
Drew didn't give the damn people what they wanted.
He said he was going to.
Yeah.
Now he's broke his word.
I tried it. That's all I can say.
No, you didn't. That's like a.
Okay, Austin, we're going to move on.
Get somebody from Powdersville to tell you to do it, and you'll probably do it. So
no,
who's Landon Fowler?
Yeah, there you go. Landon Fowler, eat him with you.
Screw all y'all. Move on here.
This is me, and if you listen closely, you can hear the person that was playing first base while these hacks were going on was far, very much so unqualified to be over there with his glasses on. But I got Mr. Orgwalla here. I think that's the way he told me to pronounce his name. Somebody say, did I say that right?
Orgwalla.
Orgwalla, that's what I said. See,
yeah.
2026 first baseman, left-handed pitcher from Wando. We'll get to see him down here in the preseason tournament coming here in a couple weeks. We saw him last year, I believe, as well, and then got to see him. We saw him this past summer at one of those tournaments. He was playing for Somerville Vapor. Isn't that what that team's called that they play run down there? With a good team. So every time we've seen him, he's got better. He's 6'3", 205, what we got him listed at. I mean, you can tell by the big kid. To me, one of the most impressive things I saw him do this weekend was you ran 6'7", 760. You ran second fastest 60 of anybody we had at the event. He was behind Andrew Palmer. But he got on the mound, was 81, 82 from the left side. Hit vertical 23.7, and then you see him hitting here. Kind of cuts that thing off a little bit at the end, but there's definitely power in that bat. And I would expect him to pick up right there in the middle of that Wando order and be a big time contributor for them on the mound and at the plate. You know, I love me a good two-way guy with some athletes. So,
Coach, I had to text you when I saw that 6.77 in there. I was like, "Is that right?" I was like, "There's no way he ran that," but good for him.
Wando Warriors, watch out now.
He did it. He did it confidently too. You know, he walked up, didn't really say anything, told me his name, and I hit it and he ran it, and I'm like, and I looked and I said, "Okay, go ahead." And then he came back and like jumped in front of about three more people and ran again. I think he ran like a 6.8 the second time. So I was like, well, it's legit.
He's tied with Ostergaard for 10-yard split, 161. Big O's.
Yeah. So like I said, he's listed at 6'3", 205, and my man's running 6'7", 60. Like good for him. So probably the fastest first baseman we'll get to see this year. Maybe.
To me, that just says there's a lot more power to be untapped in there. If he's as athletic as he seems, you know, and you were saying the swing's kind of even cutting off a little bit there, and yeah, if he can start putting all that stuff together, woo, that's a big time talent.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one he's going to really try to take going forward. I mean, I don't see any reason he can't stay doing both, but he's definitely athletic enough. That 81, 82 turned into 84, 85, especially when it starts warming up down there in Wando about April. That 84, 85 might turn into 86, 87.
I'm trying to move here, y'all. I'm trying.
You got me another two-way guy coming here in a second. I feel like I got
in a
skipped.
second, but we got to move on to some different guys here.
Yeah, Ryder Carlson, 2027 right-handed pitcher from Lexington High School. Somebody we're really excited to see. I mean, he walks in there 6'3", 180 pounds, a lot of projectability in that frame there. And, I can tell you he's just scratching the surface when it comes to his velocity and things like that. Really pretty solid down the mound. I'd say looking for maybe a little bit more consistency in the delivery, finding a consistent arm slot and things like that. But, the fastball plays, it's about 83 to 86. We saw him up to 87, like I said, and spinning off a really good breaking ball, which you'll see here in just a second. Not that one. Maybe one more. There we go. Where's that breaking ball? There it is. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that depth up there. Got a little 11-5 action, maybe a little 12-6. That's a ball that's going to, get some swings and misses on it for sure. And yeah, I mean, he's somebody that's just got a lot of projectability in there, and he's already into the mid 80s with the fastball, and somebody that, it's kind of explosive down the mound at times, I'd say. And, like I'm saying, if he's finding that release point a little bit more consistently, that's going to be in the low 90s for sure coming up in the next couple of years or so. So another big time arm there for Lexington High School.
Look at the Fighting Hooks.
Fighting Hooks be a big one for him to step up in there for that rotation for him. So get a chance to see him that second weekend up there at their tournament up there at the Optera. So that'll be a big one.
Sammy will be watching him from the hospitality tent.
At least their hospitality tent's up there in the press box, just overlooking right
there. Yeah,
Sean,
you know about that.
Sean, you'll be at Lexington the whole week because Sammy don't leave River Bluff up there in the town.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to hang out with my people up there. You know what I mean? Austin?
Your people. That's a good word for it.
My people. All right. Look at here.
Yeah, Brody Toot Hill, the guy that I really enjoyed watching again, 2027 infielder from Ashley Ridge High School. So right over there in outside of Charleston. And, he was a guy that just kind of rolled up in there. I'd never seen him before, not the biggest frame, but you could see there was maybe a little bit in there. And in terms of, he could definitely add a little bit more to that frame too. I want to say it was about 92 with the exit velocity, but I was really impressed with the swing there. It looks like it's made for contact and power going forward, and pretty good in the infield as well. I saw he pitched a little bit too in the past, and I don't think he did at this event, but he has. Just somebody that's got really good rotation in there, and just the hips are working, the bat speed's in there. It's somebody that he was really working it to the backside as well, if I remember, and somebody that's really going to have an opportunity to hit at a very, very high level, I think, once he puts it all together and adds a little bit more strength on that frame. And, somebody's just a sophomore in high school there, and somebody that, I feel has a really, really high potential, and somebody that could really explode maybe this season, maybe next, coming up, maybe the summer, something like that. But yeah, Brody's somebody that, jumped off the page to us on Saturday, and somebody we're going to want to keep our eye on going forward.
Yeah, a young man decided to move down to the real Carolina from North Carolina, decided to come down here. So we're glad to have him down in our state. So we'll have to slide him over in all of our stuff now, as Dad told me. So we'll get him right.
We'll get Borowski to give us an assessment of what he has.
Well, I don't know about that one.
No, we'll pass. We'll stick with what Sean said.
Lexington.
Oh, Christian Spivey. You know what? Hitters hit, right? Another day, Christian Spivey's another one like we talked about Ostergaard. Player we've seen, like, he's just a sophomore that we feel like he should be maybe a sophomore in college at this point in time. But he's, he's 6'2", 215 pounds. He's big and strong. And all he does is just barrel up baseballs. Right, it's barrel. I can't remember what it was. I think maybe he was like up to 101 with his max exit velo, but it's a strong athletic frame. He moves well. Corner infield shows the ability to play both, but he also shows the arm strength to where he can stick over there at third base, 85 miles an hour across there. But it's strength and his power to all fields, plus bat speed. So he's a young man that we've seen, and it's kind of a cheating for us, right? Because we've seen him play so much, and we've seen him do it, and we've seen him hit against all types of arms, right? Drew, we got a chance to watch him this summer, the super sophomores, facing that guy out of Vermont throwing 95 miles an hour, and he smoked that kid's pitch that the guy made a diving play on. So we've seen him do it against high caliber arms and every type of arm. So Spivey, big shock, another day, another barrel, another bunch of barrels. So he's always a fun one that we get a chance to see over and over again, and good to see him back. But we'll get a chance to see him early on and a bunch more times. Looks like Drew kind of left the building.
He sent me a text. We'll keep this rolling. There he is. Look at that.
I hear some sniffles.
Got another nosebleed?
He's sniffling.
God, he's a disaster.
It's one of my favorite things he does.
Peel the banana.
Guess what that means?
Hold on, I gotta find where I'm at, guys. Yeah, y'all got
Coach Spivey really, the biggest thing. Obviously, he's got all that juice going to the pull side, but yeah, I mean, you could see it in the swing. That swing is made for all fields. I mean, with the juice that he's got in there in that frame, it's going to fly out of Lexington ballpark. So yeah, he's somebody that's definitely going to get a lot of present power, and it's probably only going to go up from here.
He probably hit a couple balls out there down that little road where they parked that bus.
No doubt, he'll pepper. Yeah, and then if you're driving over and you're not paying attention on that one side, you might catch them. So
they got that little platform out there where I really want to watch a game at, but I never do. I had to sit in bleachers.
The beer garden.
Folks.
Coach, come on out. Hey, we can go to BC one day. We'll get some steaks and some shrimp, some lobster.
There it is.
With my people, you know what I mean?
Talking about somebody earlier might throw a couple pounds. Maybe
might have a Bearcat brew over there.
Bearcat brew over there. Bearcat soda over there. You know what I mean?
Hey, we got some ends over there now. We could really be in the BC.
Do we?
They're pitching coach. No, they're pitching coach.
Klein's the head dog. He was over here. He was with us last week.
He was. Let's move.
Ooh. Coach, this might have been my favorite one the entire day. I think he was the second hitter that went. He was there in the morning, and I mean, yeah, coming out there and just firing baseballs to all parts of the field. The backside, pull side, a lot of bat speed, a lot of hand speed in there, and the frame shows as well. 6'2", 210, plays a corner infield spot over there at Flora, so right down the street from me and Sammy and Danielle. Yeah, Rohan's somebody that we hadn't seen before, but as soon as he walked in, I was like, whoa, who's this guy? Like, you just see the frame and you're like, okay, this is going to be somebody. And yeah, he definitely put it all together. A lot of looseness in there with the hands, and like I said, ability to go backside as well. And exit velocity was up to 96, I want to say. So he's somebody who's just got a lot of power that's in there already, and it's present. He's gonna have an opportunity to continue showing it out at Flora, and glad we got him on our radar down there now. So he's a guy that's nearby that we're gonna be able to watch for a long time now.
Either I need some Espo glasses or that's a blurry knob, boys.
Is that good?
I don't know. Is it good?
That's a shout out. That's a throwback.
I got one right
it's
here.
Old school.
We got to find him. All right, I think he's ready. There's 700 videos on here, guys.
The question is, are you ready?
I was born ready. I was born
finally, my guy. I didn't think we were ever going to get to my last one here, but I said a minute ago, I love me a good two-way guy. We got a big kid right here, right-hand pitcher, first baseman from Parksville. He's 2027, really big kid for 2027, and he's got the back smack on the follow through. Really, I mean, Coach, you said it earlier. It kind of makes me hurt listening to it. But he's exit velocity up to 102 was his max. I don't know the exact number. Got probably top 5 for the event. 92.4 average. So not only did he hit one really hard, he hit a lot of balls really hard, and was consistent with it. Also on the mound, up to 86 from the right side on the mound. But I saw he was also up to 87 in December in the event. So, like I said, 86 here early February. I expect to see that number grow as the season goes on, as the arm gets built up and it's loosened out a little bit and gets a little bit warmer. I think he's a legit two-way threat you got going forward down there in Hartsville. So, look forward to seeing how he ends up this season.
Yeah, me and Sammy got a chance to see him over at Florence.
Yep.
Like you said, early December. Yeah, that was a cold day too, and the numbers weren't popping as much that day, I guess, for everybody. But yeah, he was somebody too that made an impact in there. And yeah, like we keep saying, as soon as it warms up, the ball can jump a little bit more, and that's exactly what happened for Bryce here. So yeah, good to see him, and we'll have to venture over to Hartsville and take a look at him again this coming season.
Hey, PD strikes again, right? Little old PD gets overlooked. Here they come. Boys keep coming out of there.
Hey, we heard that on the last high school preview show.
We sure did. Little old PD.
Little old. Coach, we got 3 more videos here. One person's got 2, and then we got a surprise breakdown coming up.
Surprise breakdown at the end.
Yeah, we got a surprise breakdown coming at the end.
Surprise breakdown.
Oh boy. Yeah, Braden Brogdon, 2027, left-handed pitcher / outfielder from Rock Hill High School. The athletic frame, I would say, is something that definitely stands out in there. But he's a skinny guy, and you're like, okay, maybe he'll touch an 80 or something like that, get up there. He comes out there 83 to 85, and good high spin on the fastball as well. And that's somebody who's going to be getting swings and misses at the top of the zone and in the zone and things like that. Real low slot as well, and he was somebody that just kind of mixed it in there and had a lot of different kind of pitches that he could go to. Good feel for the changeup as well. Really athletic frame all the way through. Just somebody with, like I keep going back to, that slot is something that you really can't teach, and it's just kind of the way that he naturally throws the baseball, and that's gonna be tough to pick up for any hitter. So especially from the left side there. So that's the Braden's definitely something we're gonna want our eye on going forward. And yeah, I mean that's a really impressive slot there, and somebody that is really going to make an impact and have a lot of success this coming season.
The good thing for them, right? We got a chance. He's another young man we've seen over scout days, but we saw him in super sophomore, right? For me, with him, the confidence for a young man, right? He carries himself as if he's the vet of any group he's at, and carries himself with a good, as the kids call it, the good swagger these days, and carries himself out there. And you wouldn't think he's a sophomore or a young guy out there. You think he's an older guy that's been around the block in a good way. Not in a bad way, that he goes, I'm just better than everybody in a good way, but he keeps working and keeps getting better. So he's fun to see how he's progressed over this short time for us.
Rock the thrill.
The thrill, baby.
Our last guy.
He was a week late. He should have came a week before. He could stayed a little closer to home.
5 minutes home.
He knew the weather the next weekend, so he wanted to go to that one.
Yes, sir.
He's a weatherman.
Big weatherman. Our last guy, not technically. Hold on, don't start talking yet, Sean.
Cole Hartman, yeah, just he wasn't on my field here. This is Drew's video with the pitching here, so yeah, I unfortunately didn't get to lay eyes on him as he was actively thrown. But he's a guy that we saw this summer. I want to say Team Carolina trials at Founders, and he was somebody that really stuck out to me. Then too, 2026 right-handed pitcher and also plays shortstop as well. Got some two-way ability in there. I haven't seen the stick as much but I love the arm talent here. Really clean mechanics and good extension coming down the mound. A lot of flexibility in the lower half, and another guy with some high spin in the fastball and breaking ball too. And he, as long as he can locate it and stuff like that, he's going to be throwing really hard. I think coming soon as he adds a little bit more weight. We don't get over to Aiken, Augusta area a whole lot, but he's somebody that we might have to go over and see. And, somebody that I think that just the athleticism that's in there and the raw traits that he has right now, that's something that's just going to continue to tick up. So once, don't be shocked to see Cole here in the upper 80s, maybe low 90s at some point in his career. But yeah, he's somebody that I really think is a sleeper. Maybe he's flying under some radars and stuff already to his junior season, but he's really putting it all together and somebody that's really fun to watch.
Yeah, he's that guy that you just going through the videos real quick and you go, ooh, I like that arm action. Like you just see it real quick. You ain't even worrying about any of the stuff, any of the numbers. You just see the arm and you go, that looks good. It kind of catches you off guard in a good way. So he good one right there for sure.
I think he was like 85 across the diamond too for shortstop. So yeah, like I said, little two-way ability as well. So yeah, he's really talented, and I think he's somebody that's going to have a lot of upside going forward.
He woke Blake up, by the way. Blake was napping.
What's going on here, guys?
Oh, we got a good one. Hey, our last video takes us for a special breakdown here. And let's begin. Hold on now. We go. Whoa!
Ooh. Ooh.
Let's do the playback here.
Watch out.
Oh. I like the audio in the background of Sammy. Holy smokes.
We go one more time here.
Coach, how are we not gonna have that screen over? Like, what are we doing? Set up on this
Hey,
side.
hey, Sean, I don't want to hear it. You were right back there with her, so don't give me that shit.
I was out of the
You were right next to her. So before we even get into that, Danielle has worked a handful of events with us so far, but in 2 weeks she's been hit 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And before
I decided that I'm gonna get hit from now on, and I've just decided that that's just gonna happen. I was actually thinking about that hit today, and I thought, I don't have a bruise, so my hand was bruised.
she caught a foul ball. She got a foul ball earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and Sean did the appropriate thing and protected the camera.
That's what Brittle was like. Why'd you check the camera before you checked her? And I was like, gotta protect the equipment, coach. Come
Which,
on.
I honestly did too. I tried to dodge it, didn't dodge it, and then I'm like, the camera. And Sean's like, the camera. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Thanks.
Because it hit like right on the lens, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
I
shit.
thought it hit on the lens, so I just knew it was gonna be shattered.
We've already lost one of those.
Yeah.
So for the listeners that are still hanging with us, right? We've brought Danielle in while she's still finishing up her grad school to not as much be like a camera operator for us, but to do some interview pieces with us along the way. But when we're in events, you do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And right, we've had some interviews come out over a handful of events where she's gone out and interviewed some players. And this past week, Drew's going to chop up some stuff and get it out on the social media world where she was able to interview Austin and Sean. So Danielle is our AKA sideline reporter for some Prep Baseball South Carolina. So when you guys see these awesome interviews out there in the world and you go, who's doing that? There we go. So if you don't like them, then it's still Danielle. If you do like them, it's still Danielle. Either way. But
if her one, the guy running the jump mat the other day is bad, I would gladly take the blame on that one because I had about 30 guys standing in the dugout, and I was trying to do the 2 different jumps, and that thing makes my head hurt to begin with. And she was interrogating me as it was happening. It was a stressful moment, and I wasn't ready for it. So I had to bring her. So if you get the first interview, it's gonna be bad. The second one,
you've not been my worst.
So there you go. The second one,
there's been worse.
Was a little better.
You had to take 2 takes?
He had to take 2 takes. Yeah, he called me back over there. I will admit the second one was better. The second one was better.
We were mid vertical jump when she came over the first time, and she wanted to know the difference between the RSI and the vertical while I'm trying to explain to a pitcher how to do the vertical. And it's hard to explain the RSI while I'm explaining to him how to vertical when he's not listening to begin. It was a whole thing, and yeah. So there you go. Second one's good though.
When's that content going to get released, Coach Danielle?
When Coach Drew does.
Coach Drew.
When Coach Sniffles over there decides to. Danielle immediately sent it to me, and I immediately that night sent it to Drew. So whenever Drew chops it up and posts it, but hey, the good thing is, right? It was a way, right? We've talked about it, right? We talked about it last week, right? A little bit about the jump. Why do we do the jump? This breaks it down a little bit more. Danielle's interviewing Austin and also interviews Sean a little bit about, right, the TrackMan, right? What's breaking down with the TrackMan? What are we using that for? To give, again, we got to give the people what they want. We got to give the people what they want about how this stuff works and what is it measuring along the way. Like just another inside look, right? The people, even the players, right? They don't know what the hell's going on half the time during the event. They're just running through it real quick, and then they see some stuff on the back end. Or the parents that are in the stands, it's the same thing. They don't really know. They just get the email afterwards, hey, your stats are up, and they go look at them. Well, how's it breaking down on our end? What are we seeing? What's going on there? So Danielle's on the front end interviewing these guys, doing all the grunt work on there, trying to get it out there, along with, she's done some interviewing of some players on the other end of going along of what our events mean to the players, and she's had, I'm not going to say she's had background herself of running the events, but she's had her family ties of coming through the prep baseball system with her brother doing it in Virginia and doing the Super 60. So she's had some family familiarity of what goes on here. So it made an easy transition rolling in here. Now she had to deal with us a little bit, but I apologize to her for that. But she's had to deal with us on this side a little bit more.
Maybe one day she'll be able to use these interviews when she applies to her college game day. Maybe.
I don't think she wants to use those.
If she makes it through dealing with us, anybody should hire her. That's like an automatic win.
She can use this as her.
My guy catching.
He just whiffed.
He didn't even whiff. He didn't even go for it.
It's just that ball's going. I'm like.
It wasn't even that far. Like if he'd have stuck his arm out, he'd have knocked it down.
It really wasn't that far.
Who threw that? Was that Brooks?
Coach Daniel.
No, that was Daniel.
Me.
Damn, okay. Was it a pitch out? And we didn't tell the catcher.
He said somebody said something like mid throw and was like, hold on. So he said he kind of left it a little bit too much on the release it a little too early. So that was the issue.
That's why.
But yeah,
my catcher.
Our guy, yeah, it was a whole issue, but yeah, then
me and Drew were over on the other field. We're running ours, and it's just smooth sailing like clockwork. And getting our catchers done over there, and we leave to come across, and the next thing I know, we got somebody that needs a Evo shield on their shin bone.
She needs a full body armor.
We're just trying to run.
She needs the Evo shield on the leg and on the hand for the next event if she doesn't leave us, but it's okay. I don't blame her at this point in time. She's been hit 3 times in the last 2 weeks, it's just part of the game. It's either the camera or the person.
Yeah,
we'd rather be the person.
I'm willing to take the hit.
There we go.
Team player.
Yeah, because those cameras are expensive. No offense.
So is workers' comp.
Good thing I don't have that.
Independent contractor. Sorry.
1099.
What's up, Coach Sniffles?
Yeah, Coach Sniffles is ready to roll here.
Do we have anything else on the radar, or are we tapped out?
We're tapped out, so we're gonna let you in on some technically breaking news for all the viewers that are left. We have one more dugout show that is special guest is joining before we get into the breakdown of the high school season, the high school pick'em show with the Power 25 reveal. That'll be episode 111. However, episode 110, Cam Canarella and Ethan Darden will be joining the Palmetto Dugout Show 3 days prior to the kickoff of Division I baseball. So make sure you tune in to episode
Why
1.
in the hell would they do that?
Why in the hell would they do what, Sean? Tell me, Sean. Nobody's got to get your ass. What do you got to say, Sean?
I wouldn't even take a dig. I wouldn't even take a dig.
God almighty.
Why would they do what?
Why would they come on our show 3 days before the season starts? They got better stuff to do.
Nah,
They got to give the people what they want.
People want them.
Yes, that's right, Danielle.
Yeah, see, Sean, we're the only podcast in the state of South Carolina that's about to have a first round. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah.
You got to give the people what they want, Coach.
Can we let
Like
Danielle
eating stand-up
moderate
Winnie's.
that interview and not let Bert and Ernie, that way they don't end up like at a war over this guy?
We haven't had issues.
What?
Today. No issues.
We'll just let her interview.
Yeah, we'll let Danielle go.
But get your questions ready.
Hey,
Oh, I'm glad that I got the notice. I will start indulging on my research, so I have
These
some
two
proper questions.
obviously can't. They can't.
Austin's going to ask him if they've eaten stand-up weenies before.
Where?
Well, that was my question. If we get them to do it, will you do it?
I'm still not eating that shit, Sean. It's disgusting.
What if I get somebody to cook it in the Cajun Cafe this year?
With 20 beers, yes, I'm in.
20?
Can you get me to the Cajun Cafe for the Savannah Bananas game?
Coach, I am going to Savannah Bananas game on April
I am
20th.
too. I'll be there.
Oh, so we're going to tailgate. You can finally come to my tailgate.
It depends on if I get invited.
Savannah Bananas?
I'm not getting under
stay out of this.
I'm not getting under the tent either.
What's up, little man?
Different tent.
Sam,
See, Sam, look at him.
that was a big red box.
Look. He's South State. Look at that hat, boy.
The
show-
South State Bank, baby. Let's
We
get
gotta-
it.
Balls.
Can you see it?
Do we have that song on here?
Does it say "Make America
Hey,
Great Again"?
Austin, I got you right here.
Ooh. Speaking of, it's about to be Georgia baseball season, boys.
Anyway, we're going to wrap this one up.
In this live stream.
Yeah, we're still live here, an hour and 18 minutes in.
Cut this thing off.
Yeah. So make sure we'll see you on next Tuesday night for episode 110. Don't miss it. From all of us here at Prep Baseball South Carolina, we hope you have a great week.